Welcome to our YouTube channel, The Recovering Feminist and the Gunmas. I'm Carrie, this is Carolyn, that's Martha, and we're here today to share with you some things that we hope are of value to you. Well, I'll get started. I was first introduced to feminism in the 1970s. I went to a liberal arts college in upstate New York, and I thought I was so lucky because I was the first class that got to take women's studies at my school. Interestingly enough, rather than studying Western civilization, I was required to take courses in Egyptian hieroglyphics. And also in religion class, I studied liberation theology, and in particular, I remember a touching biography of Karl Marx describing the sacrifices that he and his family endured to promote their ideology. Anyway, during college and afterwards, I considered it a badge of honor to call myself a feminist. But I've lived a few years since then, and really my motivation in wanting to start this channel together with my friends is to sound the clarion call that we women have been fed a lie regarding feminism. You know, feminism is not about equal rights for women. No. Feminism is about power for the female left. We've been sold a bill of goods. And just as Candace Owens, who really inspires us, she's really putting herself on the line to sound the clarion call for the Black community.
Thank you, Candace.
Yeah, we're really grateful to you, Candace. She said she would be willing to fall on the sword 1,000 times to be able to encourage and wake up the Black community to leave the Democratic plantation.
Yeah.
So Carolyn, Martha, and I are really dedicating ourselves to promoting and educating women, and also providing support for women who are already awake about the truth of feminism. You know, many people don't realize that the entire women's movement was predicated on a Marxist view of the world. Feminism, like communism, depends on hypothesizing an oppressed class. Women are the victims, and men are the victimizers. Now, this wasn't always the case. The first wave of feminism actually didn't even use the word feminism. Yeah. Women were working to gain the vote, and in 1920, it came to pass. Women were able to vote, just like men. Second wave feminism in the 1960s, spearheaded by people like Betty Friedan, it was really the time when the message of toxic masculinity began. Betty Friedan, really, she manufactured social problems that didn't exist. Yes. She said American housewives live in comfortable concentration camps. She argued that devotion to husband and children stunts a woman's growth as an individual. So she did a lot to encourage women to abandon the family, and look at the results since second wave feminism. Are women happier today than they were in the 1970s?
Doesn't look like it.
No, the data is in. In 1990, the statistics showed women were unhappier than men. Back in the 1970s, women were happier. And even today, in the year 2019, women are still unhappier than men. Yeah. So what has happened? Why is this? Well, you know, if you believe lies about what will make you happy, if you hold on to the victim mentality, you can never really be free. You can never really be happy. If we're going to talk about toxic masculinity, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there are toxic masculine men out there. But you know what? We better talk about toxic femininity as well. That's right. Okay? Let's just give the example quickly of Sarah Jane Parkinson. Sorry, Sarah Jane, to use you as an example, but you kind of did it to yourself.
She's bad news.
She fabricated a story of rape and abuse towards her fiancé, Daniel Jones. He was locked up in a maximum security jail cell for 4 months for something he did not do. As a result of this whole experience, Daniel Jones's parents divorced, and in the process drained their entire life's savings. But, you know, maybe Sarah Jane, maybe we can't call her a bad person because she's a woman, she has to be a victim.
That's right.
So maybe it must be Daniel Jones' fault for getting himself locked up in a jail cell for 4 months.
It's supposed to be longer, 18 years.
So we're not meaning to make light of this or make fun of it, simply to point out the fact that to call women victims is a misnomer. You know, especially here in America, we are unbelievably fortunate and lucky.
That's for sure.
I believe, and if you gave me time, I could prove it to you. We are the most fortunate women in the world. We have the most opportunities. We have the most freedoms.
Yes.
So I think having an attitude of gratitude is important.
Yes.
And really understanding the truth about what it means to be an empowered woman.
Yes.
So I'd like now to turn it over to Carolyn.
Hello. The purpose of this YouTube channel and Confronting Feminism is to empower women. We're interested, as I'm sure you are, in building a strong society. Strong men, strong women, strong families. As you know, despite what you may have heard, the nuclear family is a self-contained family unit consisting of a father, a mother, and their children. We understand that there are different realities for people. There are single parent families, and we're not here to judge. But all the studies show that married father and mother and the actual biological parents of children are the best condition for children to thrive. And so since the nuclear family is the core of society, without it, society falls apart. For us and for many, the use of firearms is to protect this very precious core of society, our families.
Yes.
As Carrie said, feminists have manufactured a social problem out of falsehoods. And our purpose is to expose these lies and to offer solutions for building healthy families and societies. And now I will turn it over to Martha.
Thank you, Carolyn.
They're sisters, by the way.
Oh, yes. We are all about the empowerment of women. And through feminism, we have developed a victim mentality which has not served us well. To me, it means that we want to work at being prepared for and then taking responsibility for what comes to us in our life. And we know that there are women who would be either alive or would not have been raped, would not have been abused if they had, if they were trained firearms carriers. We know this, and owning and mastering firearms is the most effective way for women to protect themselves, their children, grandchildren, and even their husbands. As we get older, as need be, this might happen. Another very great asset to owning and mastering firearms is that it changes our mentality.
It's true.
The mindset from victim mentality to that one of actively making a stand to protect our loved ones and our neighbors. And firearms are the real equalizer in defense for women versus men. So actually, the Second Amendment rights equal women's rights.
That's right.
Amen.
Thank you.
All right, so thank you, Martha and Carolyn.
Thank you, Carrie and Martha.
Thank you, Carrie.
So we will sign off for now. We are the Recovering Feminist and the Gunmas, and we want to tell you, please subscribe. And we'll see you again soon.
Yes.
Thank you. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.